everyone, it's Molly from Goblin House Tarot. Welcome to the area. Today I wanted to do a fun little collection video. I wanted to show you all of my Marseille decks in order from smallest to biggest. I don't have that many Marseille decks because I kind of feel like a Marseille is a Marseille to a certain extent. I mean, I know there are different iterations of Marseille. There are different kind of famous Marseille decks that the real Marseille heads out there will know about that I don't. But at the end of the day, they're all structured essentially the same. So I don't feel like I need too many, but I've got about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I have 9, I think, decks in my Marseille collection. So let's get started. Let's start with my smallest one. And it's this teeny tiny Visconti mini deck from Scarabeo. And the Visconti Tarot is my favorite Marseille. It's this one with the little gold accents. This deck doesn't have actual gold accents. It's just kind of goldy ink, I guess. But the minors in the Visconti Sforza Tarot are absolutely stunning. I love them so much. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit here. Let's reposition. There we go. Anyway, it's super ornate. The majors are kind of fun. That fool looks absolutely miserable. But I just love all the greenery around the majors. Look at that. That's so beautiful. Sorry about my lighting, by the way. It's a bit suboptimal. I don't really have a great space for doing this, so it's just kind of how it is. But anyway, I believe the history behind this deck is that it was created specifically for a wealthy Italian noble family, I guess. I don't really know that much about it. I could look it up, but I'm not going to do that. But I love the design. I love the minors. And I just think I'm a sucker for mini decks. And this one is just, it's so cute. I mean, look how small it is. It's so little. So that is the Scarabeo Visconti Mini. Let's put that out of the way and move on to my next smallest deck, which is this one. This is Tarot de Marseille de Witches by Beth Seilonen. This is number 28 out of 100. I don't actually know if she still has copies left of this. I don't really see this deck around. Hold on, let me get, okay. But this is a hand-drawn Marseille deck that is just pretty fun. The first time I ever saw this deck was when I was very first getting into TarotTube, and my first ever TarotTube channel that I followed was Dawn Michelle, and this was like back in the day, okay? And she was showing this deck, and I fell in love with it. And it's funny because it's not my usual style. It's a little more, I don't know, cartoony isn't really the word I'm looking for, but it's a little more, I don't know, informal, I guess. But for something about the colors, about the different colored borders around the different suits just really grabbed me, and I love it. I'll be real, I don't use it that much. It's on this weird, like, laminated, plasticky cardstock. That's not why I don't use it. I'll be real, mostly the reason I don't use it is because I forget that I have it. Because it's so small, it just hangs out in my tarot cabinet, and I forget to look for it. But I really need to, I think I'm gonna put it out on my reading table. To use. Oh, another thing I like about this deck is in the minors, there are little tiny pictures in addition to the actual pips. So like this one, this is the Two of Wands, which I guess traditionally is about, you know, planning, expansion, balance, that kind of thing. And you have this little tiny witch standing, looking out over the hills. I think in Thoth, the word for the Two of Wands is dominion. And this kind of gives dominion vibes with her looking out like that. So I like that. But it's just a cutie, and I don't see a lot of people talking about using it. So I thought I'd give it the time it deserves here today. And I need to start back using it again because I really do like it. That is the Tarot de Marseille de Witches by Beth Seilonen. And my next smallest, we're getting slightly bigger, not that much bigger, is the Marshmallow Marseille, which we all know and love. This was actually, I think this might have been the second Marseille deck I ever purchased. I edged mine in silver. I don't know how well that's showing up. Probably not very. It's got these cool silvery backs, which I like. And again, it's the kind of that more sketchy, informal art style that isn't usually my thing, but for whatever reason, I really like working with this one. I like the pastel colors. I like the weird horse faces. Let's see if I can get to a lot of majors, a lot of chords. My goodness. There we go. The minors are always my favorite thing in any Marseille deck. The majors are, you know, they're fine, whatever. Majors and chords, they're people, and that's fine. But I love the structure of the minors. And I know that structure is very intentional. I have actually, it doesn't sound like it, but I have actually studied Marseille quite extensively. So I am aware of the intentionality of the structure in the pips. And I love, look at this hermit. Oh, buddy. I love the way this one has, they're kind of like a little more solid color in some areas, which I like. And the other tarot by this artist, publisher, the Tarot Sirene, is one that I would love to add to my collection someday because I think having a mermaid tarot would be pretty fun. But both this deck and the Tarot Sirene are currently out of print, I believe. And I don't know if there are any plans to bring them back, but if they do ever come back, I would definitely try and get a hold of the Tarot Sirene because, I mean, who doesn't love mermaids, am I right? So that is the Marshmallow Marseille. Let's see if it says on the box. By Wandering Oracle. And look at this little cutie marshmallow on the box. That is also in the center of all the card backs. I don't know how well you can see that. Once again, my lighting is not great. There it is, little marshmallow. Alrighty, moving right along. I'm gonna have to adjust my camera soon, I think, because we're gonna start to get bigger. Next one is it's an Artisan Tarot deck. And it is the Jean Noblet by Artisan Tarot. And this is just, I bought this one because I felt like I needed a kind of a more classic Marseille deck in my collection. And this one is just very satisfying. The cards, I mean, it's Artisan Tarot. That Artisan Tarot cardstock, their casino quality linen, it's just gorgeous. It's such a delight to shuffle and to handle. It's very slippery though. But this deck, the way they've kind of retouched and what word am I looking for? Refinished, I'm sure everyone is screaming at me right now, the actual word, I don't remember. It's very crispy and clear, and I like that. I do like kind of messier ones, which I'll show you. I have one in my collection that's a bit more loosey-goosey. I like the old classic decks where you can kind of see the printer's marks where the colors have strayed outside the lines a little bit. I like those, but I also wanted just a really clean and clear version of a classic Marseille as well. And I think Artisan Tarot did a beautiful job with this. Oh, whoops, title card. I'll move that out of the way. Yeah, I think it's just overall, the production quality is incredible. It's a beautiful deck. I enjoy working with it. The horses, once again, have stupid faces, which I love. I love horses with stupid faces. My cat is wailing at the door because I've exiled him for bad behavior. Wow, she looks intense. Okay, let's end on the tower. I like that tower card. That is the Jean Noblet Tarot. Remastered, retouched, re-arted, I don't know, by Artisan Tarot. Let's see, I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit. Well, let's put the deck down first. Next biggest one, we're getting closer to standard tarot side, and this is the Stone Marseille Tarot by Lily Stone. And this is one that I also don't see a lot of people using. Maybe it got more use when it was first published. These cool, shiny, dark blue edges. Let me lay this down and then we'll readjust. Let's zoom out here a little bit. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, right. So maybe more people were using this. My God, these are the backs. Y'all, it's early, okay? My bad. Maybe this was used more often when it was first published. Maybe it was more popular, I don't know. I didn't find it until a couple of years ago. And I'm not sure, actually, I wonder if the title card says, oh, okay. So she does say on the card, derives from the beautiful work of Nicholas Conver. Okay, so this is a kind of a reworking of the Conver Marseille. And I call this my dark mode Marseille. I'm a dark mode girly. Anything on my computer that can be in dark mode will be in dark mode. I think using social media apps in light mode is insane, unless you need to have it that way for some sort of visual reason. And then of course, obviously, you gotta do what you have to do. But if it's just like a personal preference thing, I'm sorry, you're a weirdo. Dark mode forever. And I needed a dark mode Marseille. There are several Marseille out there with the darker background. This is just the one that I have. And I really like it. I think Lily did an incredible job redrawing all of Nicholas Conver's art. I think the colors are fantastic. I think they pop really beautifully on this dark navy background. And I also love the size. I like that it's very narrow. This is, I don't know how to show you how narrow it is. I guess I could show you against a regular tarot size card, but I mean, I'm lazy, so that's not happening. Four of Cups. Beautiful. So that is the Stone Marseille Tarot by Lily Stone. Let's see, I've got 4 left. Okay. The next up is the Talisman Tarot. And this is the most recent edition that was on Kickstarter last year, I think. This deck has been around for a while, but the artist recently did this, another edition on Kickstarter. These are the backs, which are beautiful. And it was one of those where I'd kind of been, you know, every time I would see it on TarotTube or social media or whatever, I would think, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. You know, this, I would love to have this deck. And then I would just kind of be like, I don't really need it. And then when it came around on Kickstarter again, I decided that was the sign that I needed it. And I'm so glad that I brought it into my collection. I think it's absolutely stunning. I think it's unique. I love this moon card. This is one of my favorite moon cards of all time. This is not as crispy a style of artwork, which is fine. I think it's extremely cool. He says, I'm looking on the box to see if I can see monoprint tarot. I'm not entirely sure what a monoprint is. I remember reading all about it on the Kickstarter campaign page and then immediately forgetting everything I read. So if anyone out there knows what a monoprint tarot is, what monoprint is as an art style, feel free to enlighten me. I'm not gonna take it personally. It's a beautiful deck. It feels very, I don't know, I'm not great at articulating thoughts in my head. My brain kind of works in vibes and emotions, so words don't always come out the way I want them to, but it feels special. It just feels special. Which, I don't know, maybe that's kind of a lame thing to say, I don't know, but gosh, I love this High Priestess so much. With the little pomegranate right there. It almost feels like a cave painting in a weird way that I can't explain. I don't know. Like, does that looks like a cave painting. Come on. The antlers and the, yeah, it's cool as hell, you guys. And maybe it's the printing, the type of printing that it is, I don't know. It just gives it almost a like primitive look in a really special way. I know nothing about art, so that's not true. I know some things about art, but I definitely don't know enough to go tossing around terms like primitive in the way that I just did without totally understanding what it means. So, you know, don't ever listen to me, okay? I never know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that is the Talisman Tarot by an artist whose name I can't remember. So 1,000 apologies. Please look it up if you're interested in this deck. I'm not sure if there are still copies available or not, but if there are, it is well worth your time. It's absolutely gorgeous and just a delight to read with. And speaking of Kickstarter decks, I just got this one in literally last week, and I think I'm gonna have to zoom out. Yeah, we're gonna have to, dirt. Oh, you can see my whole camera too. My whole setup on my tripod. This is the Matronua Tarot by Valentina de Luca. And this was just recently on Kickstarter. I don't know what the deal is in terms of what types of copies are still available, but y'all, this deck is stunning. She painted this deck by hand, every single card. I am looking at the back and realizing it's in Italian. I did used to be an opera singer. Fun fact about me, there's some ancient lore that you did not know. So let's see what I can do with this. My Italian is shit. But let's see. The Matronua Tarot is a deck of 82 hand-painted cards by Valentina de Luca. Ispirato, I don't know what ispirato means. Inspired, maybe? Of the classic Italian and French traditions. It includes, oh, that's right, it has some dual cards. Okay, so it includes 2 variants of the Arcanas 6, 9, 15, and 18, which is the Lovers, Hermit, Devil, and Moon. Oh boy, I don't know what that means. Something diverse, vision. I don't know, I guess it's just giving you a choice between those two cards and providing you a little wiggle room in case there's one that you like more than the other. Prima edizione, first edition, limited to 100 numbered copies with certificate and seal. I think sigillo is steel, or seal, sigillo. Yeah, sigillo is seal, and I know that because it features prominently in Marriage of Figaro, which is an opera that I was in at one point. Printed in Italy with high quality materials. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Let's see. Valentina de Luca is a, oh boy, I don't know what Pittrice means. Pittrice Italiana is an Italian something and student of tarot. Her passion for art and symbolic research of symbols, has given life to this deck, hand painted entirely by hand and inspired by the classic Tarocchi traditions. I think that might have been close to what this says, but you know, don't quote me on any of that. Anyway, the point is, this is a beautiful hand painted deck. The cards are very large. This is, let's see, this is number 308 out of 1,000. It has these sharp corners, which I'm actually going to leave because I think on certain decks, they're really effective. The cardstock is this gorgeous, like sturdy art paper. Oh, these are the backs, which are beautiful as well. That has these kind of, I don't know how well you can see in this light, I'll do my best, these beautiful flecks that came from, I assume, whatever was used to make this paper. But this deck is one of the most incredibly beautiful, detailed, classical Marseille decks I've ever seen in my life. Classical tarot decks I've ever seen in my life, okay? And she hand painted these, y'all, hand painted. Like, look, I don't know if you can see the details on the cups with the way the light is hitting them. Oh my gosh, it's just absolutely stunning. The majors are unreal. Like, look at that. Man, I wish my lighting were better. This is suboptimal lighting for viewing this absolutely stunning deck. And I think her Kickstarter campaign was extremely detailed. Oh, this is, okay. The moon is one of the cards where there's an extra moon card. Oh, and here's the extra moon card. Okay, so these are the two moon cards. I left both of them in there because I don't mind. Sometimes if there's extra cards, I choose which one I want to use and take the other one out. But in this deck, I've left them both in because A, I couldn't decide, and B, they both give different vibes to me, different feelings. Yeah. Gosh, that star is stunning. I want to give, I love, the Two of Cups in a Marseille deck is always one of my favorite cards. Different Marseille traditions have different traditional depictions of the Two of Cups. I happen to love this one that uses the fish. I think that's beautiful. What was I saying? Oh, her Kickstarter campaign was crazy detailed. She went through her entire process. This deck she's been imagining and working on for years. And I think some of, not all, but some of the cards, the face cards, the majors and courts, are based on people that she knows, important people in her life. And I always think that's really sweet when deck creators do that. And it doesn't, some people don't like that, but for me, it doesn't bother me because I don't know that person. I don't know anything about that person. So it's not gonna kind of jerk me out of the reading the way it would if, where I struggle is when there are like pop culture references in a deck. Cause then all of a sudden, you know, I'm looking at like David Bowie or whatever, and all I can think of is, hey, that's David Bowie. And I kind of lose my place in the reading a little bit. But since these are based on, you know, people that are important to her in her own life, You know, that doesn't bother me. Jiminy Christ, look at this. Fuck, that's so beautiful. God damn. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot, but like, look how intricate this is. I'm trying to make sure we can stay focused here. God, that's gorgeous. Let me look through and see if I can find some of the duplicate cards. Okay, there are two hermits. We have the hermit, like a more traditional, I guess, Rider-Waite Smithy hermit, and also Marseille hermit. And then this guy who is Time, which I think also gives a different feeling to the hermit. So I was very happy to leave that in there with the other one. Oh, I don't think we'd seen the wands yet. This is the wands suit. It just blows my mind that she hand painted these. Like, the level of detail is crazy. Absolutely insane. Look how gorgeous that is. Let's see. Anyways, there's two hermits, two devils. Oh, let's see. Okay, here we go. Two devils side by side. Whoa. Again, I'm leaving them both in because this one is a little more like clowny and goofy and fun, and this one is slightly more intense. So they give me different feelings, and I'm fine to leave those in. And I'm trying to remember, the heck was the other one that was in there? Oh, the lovers. Yeah, there are two lovers. I think this card is her mother, maybe her grandmother. Not sure. Beautiful four of coins. Gorgeous high priestess. I didn't mean to turn this into an entire walkthrough of this deck, but that's kind of what's happening because, oh my God. Okay, we have this lover. Where's the other one? I'm gonna put that to the side for now while I look for the other lover. Where are you? Okay, so here we have a very traditional Marseille lovers card with the man with the wife and the mother and the little cherub overhead, and then a slightly less traditional just couple on their own. And this one is called The Lovers, and this one is just called Love. And I think those mean two different things, so I'm leaving them both in there. Anyway, that is the Matronua Tarot by Valentina de Luca that I backed on Kickstarter a little while ago, and it just came in. And also, this deck was so beautifully packaged. She hand packaged every single deck in this beautiful paper with a wax seal and beautiful string, and it was just an incredible presentation overall. Yeah, this is a really special deck. This is a deck that I feel like I'm probably only going to use when I'm in a slightly more serious mood, because I feel like that's what it requires. I think this is a deck that asks to be taken seriously, and so I'm going to do that. All right, second to last deck, and that is I think it's called the Nouveau Tarot Marseille by Gonzalo Aeneas. These are the backs. This is a big boy. And this is an extremely cool deck because the majors are done in this kind of, I don't know, not cartoon, almost comic book style. They're very detailed. And then the minors are pretty spare, you know, your classic looking minors, but the majors are just so cool. I've never seen anything like this in a Marseille deck before. Also, I've never seen a pregnant Queen of Swords before, which is interesting to me. That's a thinker. But yeah, this deck I think is sometimes available, sometimes not available. I forget who I saw showing this deck on their channel, I'm sorry. And I wound up having to follow the artist on Instagram. And his Instagram not channel, what the heck, Instagram profile page, whatever, is not in English. It's in Spanish, and my Spanish is basically non-existent. But you know, it's good enough to kind of get the gist of things. And on his, oh, it's upside down, Instagram, he will say when there are decks available. So I had to just keep checking to see when he had ordered another round for printing. And I'm glad I did, because it's a little bit of a different, vibe. You know, it still feels very much like that traditional Marseille, but with kind of an interesting twist, especially when it comes to the majors and the courts. Look at this Empress. She's cool as fuck. Look at her crown. That's bananas. It's a pretty big deck. I have small hands, but it's about the size of my hand. This is my second largest Marseille deck. And I love everything about it. I love the colors that are used for the minors. I love that the majors have a slightly more vibrant color palette, and in the minors, it's a little more muted. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful deck. I don't see it around a lot. And this card is upside down. Aw, the lovers. That is the Nouveau Tarot Marseille by Gonzalo Aeneas. Put that over here. And finally, my biggest Marseille deck is this honker. It's another Visconti. It's a tough one to get out of the box because it's old. Let's see. This is a vintage copy of the Visconti Sforza Tarot. Was originally published by US Games. This one is from 1975, this copy. And this is, I think, my favorite Marseille deck that I own. It's gigantic. But again, it's the Visconti Sforza, which is my favorite style of Marseille. It's my favorite, you know, Marseille deck, I guess you could say. And the gold ink on this deck is delightful. It's a little bit shiny. Well, the deck itself is a little bit shiny, but the gold ink is a little shiny. It's not foiling. It's not like that. It's not like, you know, like the Golden Renaissance Tarot or anything where it has that strong foil, gold foil on the card fronts. It's not that. It's just gold ink. But it's a little bit shiny. And I love it. It feels, oh my God, my cat just yanked the door open. Well, we're on our last deck. It's fine. It feels medieval. And that's likely because it was created not that long after the Middle Ages. Actually, let's see. Let's see if it says. Yes, these cards were reproduced in authentic color tones from the most nearly complete extant Visconti Sforza tarot deck dating from mid-15th century Milan, so 1400s, the mid-1400s when this deck was designed. And it looks like it. And that's my jam. I'm a medieval girly. I love the Middle Ages. I would love to visit that time period, you know, take a little care package of penicillin with me and some toilet paper. But other than that, I'd love to drop by and look around. Look, gosh, just every space is filled with this gorgeous detail. And because it was designed for this specific family, a lot of the, there are cards with like text in here, and it's kind of words, or it's their like family words or whatever, kind of like Game of Thrones, you know, where each house has their own like special words. These are the family motto of this family. God, that Ace of Cups is stunning. Yeah, I love this deck. It's a bit awkward to use because it is so big, but it's really special. It looks gorgeous in candlelight. The gold ink shimmers so nicely. Look how beautiful that is. Let's see. You see that gold kind of flashing a little bit there? Yeah. God, I love the sword suit too. Because I'm not a big, I mean, I like that these swords are straight and not the like curvy swords. I mean, I like the curvy swords too. That's just, it's a different style. But this one just feels, I don't know, it's more me, I guess. So this is my largest deck. And my smallest deck is also a version of this deck. I'm trying to pick it up off my table to show them next to each other. There you go. Look how tiny that is. Look how small that is. Next to this, let's see. There. Like you could fit 4 of these little cards in this one big card. Oh, that's upside down. Oh, that's also upside down. Man, this is also giving me upside down vibes. Yep, upside down. How did this happen? Oh, that's not upside down. That's fine. Okay. So that's it, guys. Those are all of my Marseille decks from smallest to biggest. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I like, I'm always here for, you know, every deck in my collection video series. Like I will lock the fuck in for those, but I kind of prefer more little discrete mini collection videos, mostly because I like to see the way people classify their decks. I mean, this was an easy one, like it's all my Marseille decks, right? But I love when people create little mini collections for themselves that are like decks that, you know, make me feel like I could fight God, or decks that feel like I'm a squirrel drinking a cup of tea in the forest, or, you know, whatever. I just think the way people group their decks together that way is super interesting. So I might do some of those in the future, I don't know, but this was an easy one for me to do and it was a lot of fun. So I hope you liked it. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for hanging out and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.